on Newswatch. The FAA is investigating a plane crash in Athens County. Plus, how the Supreme Court's decision on presidential immunity could affect a number of cases against former President Trump. And this 4th of July may see record-breaking travel numbers. Newswatch starts right now.
A plane crash is under investigation at the Ohio University Airport. Good evening, I'm Haley Sueno and welcome to Newswatch. According to the FAA, around 8 p.m. last night, a small plane caught a crosswind on landing and went through a fence into a ditch. 2 people were on board the plane. There were no major injuries. Deputies stayed on the scene until wreckage was cleared. Well, if you've walked along State Route 682 in Athens or tried to cross at that intersection, you know just how dangerous taking that road can be. Newswatch reporter Allison Patton has more.
Thanks, Haley. There's an affordable housing complex along that highway, and some of the residents walk down to the gas station. But the trip isn't easy, as the pedestrians have to walk alongside cars and navigate a busy intersection.
The sidewalk was here, and so we started here and we went all the way up.
Stephanie Hunter walks me down a stretch of State Route 682 that runs by the new Kershaw Green apartment complex. It's the same route she walked last summer during a walk audit with the Athens County Active Transportation Steering Committee.
Someone leaned out their car to yell at us to use the crosswalk.
But that's the problem with this stretch of road. There are no crosswalks or sidewalks or any infrastructure to make it safe for pedestrians.
It is actively hostile to them, which is really a shame because we have all these beautiful new apartments, we have the entirety of the university estates, and all of these people need to go places.
Josh Birchfield knows what it's like to walk on 682. He walks it every day to get to his mom and sister's house in the Plains.
You're just too close to the cars.
Kershaw Green residents walking to the nearby Go Mart face another hurdle: the intersection of 682 and West Union.
There is no safe time to cross as a pedestrian.
That's because there could always be a car turning, potentially cutting them off. Athens Service Safety Director Andy Stone says the city is aware of the pedestrian safety issues at the intersection.
It is something that's important to us, and so we're going to attempt to address it.
It's planning to build a roundabout at the intersection, but that won't be ready for another 2 years.
We know that the right answer with some money and some design could be built in the next few years.
Contract for the roundabout goes out to bid in early 2025. While the city waits to finalize the roundabout plans, Kershaw Green residents continue to make the trek. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Allison Patton, live in studio.
Thanks, Allison. For those affected by the March 14th tornadoes, the deadline to apply for Federal Emergency Management Agency financial support is tomorrow. Homeowners and renters in the area can apply. Eligible candidates can...
For our first look at weather out there, currently those conditions are on a little bit cooler side for this time of year. Athens 79, we're usually in those mid 80s by now, so definitely a lot chillier than we're used to this time of the year. Lancaster 76, Parkersburg and Buckhannon, they are in those 80s. They're the first ones to reach those 80s today. It's definitely been a chillier one. With chillier conditions is from this northerly wind that has been coming in from Canada. It's been making it very dry here, and it has been cooling those temperatures down quite a bit. The only thing that we're seeing from this system is just some cloud cover, but otherwise it has been a very comfortable and cool day out there. Just that system once again showing just a little bit of cloud cover, but it has been very, very pleasurable out there. For tonight, that overnight low of 50, we're really going to be cooling down these next couple of days before we get this very strict hike in those temperatures. Those mostly clear skies continuing for our night. Looking at these next 3 days, Tuesday, tomorrow, we're going to be at 87 with that low of 66. Wednesday, that's the next time we're going to be in those 90s. Definitely today and tomorrow are those beautiful days, and then once we hit Wednesday, that's whenever we're going to start getting sticky and a lot warmer. And for our Thursday, our 4th of July, you might have to change those plans just a little bit with that 80% chance of showers. Definitely stick back with me to see just how much those 4th of July plans are going to have to change.
For those affected by the March 14th tornadoes, the deadline to apply for Federal Emergency Management Agency financial support is tomorrow. Homeowners and renters in the area can apply, and eligible candidates can receive help with serious needs, paying for temporary housing, home repairs, and other needs not covered by insurance policies. FEMA cannot duplicate benefits that have already been covered. To apply for assistance, you can go to disasterassistance.gov. Well, Athens County and the city of Nelsonville will receive over $500,000 each for the paving of several county roads. The Ohio Public Works Commission has released its project agreements for this year's infrastructure funding. Athens County roads 1, 10, 12, and 83 will be paved. OPWC is funding 564 projects across Ohio involving roads, water supply, wastewater, bridges and culverts, and stormwater. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources is giving Ohioans the opportunity to show their love for parks across the state. ODNR has installed selfie stations at 18 parks and state nature preserves. They're offering a chance for a parks passport and an opportunity to be featured on their social media platforms to anyone who takes pictures at 10 different parks. Participants can send their selfies to william.armbruster@dnr.ohio.gov. Well, an Ironton native has punched her ticket to the Paris Olympics. Mackenzie Long qualified for the U.S. track and field Olympic team after placing third in the 200-meter finals on Saturday. Long finished with a time of 21.91 seconds. This year she ended her senior season at Ole Miss at the NCAA champion in the 100 and 200-meter sprints, plus the 4x100 relay. The Olympics opening ceremony is set for July 26th. Well, it's been a week of rock and roll for campers at Athens Rock Camp for Girls, which returned this year after taking a 4-year break. Newswatch reporter Betty Kincomboy-Dew spent some time with the girls.
Yes, I did, Haley. It was a lot of fun hanging out with the girls as they learned new music and formed new bonds. Let's take a look.
This is Harper Fickle's first time rocking the drums. She's good on the guitar, but is hoping to learn something new during her time at the Athens Rock Camp for Girls.
I learned how to play drums for the most part, just like the easy stuff, and like how to be more comfortable on stage.
She's one of the 16 girls at this year's week-long rock camp. Here, girls meet, form bands, write original music, and then perform to family and friends at the end of the week. This year marks the return of camp after a 4-year hiatus because of the pandemic. Started in 2011, the Rock Camp's mission is to empower girls and build connections through music. Connections that bass player El Pal is grateful for.
I don't really have a lot of people that I hang out with, I guess. I made a lot of new friends and re-met people that I hadn't seen in a while.
Organizers say some of the campers in the past have gone on to pursue music professionally.
We have a past camper, her name was Aubrey Riley. She is in Nashville as a solo artist. Then locally we have a girl named Cora. She played at Nelsonville Music Festival last year.
And while not everyone will find musical success, the girls will leave the camp with something more valuable.
It takes a lot to get up on stage, and I really hope that they take away the feeling that that gives them and the confidence that that gives them.
Now, Athens Rock Camp for Girls returns next year, and it promises to be even more exciting, Haley. For Newswatch, I'm Betty Kincomboy-Dew, live in studio.
Thanks so much, Betty. Well, coming up, President Biden has made his decision regarding the presidential race, and Trump has been granted partial immunity by the Supreme Court.
We're going to have some pretty nice days coming up, but our 4th of July is looking like a rainy one. Next on Newswatch.
On The Great American Recipe. Create a special dish that always brings a smile to your loved one's face.
What are we making?
I'm making crab cakes for my babe.
This was the first dish that I made for my wife. We're married now, so.
Looks really dry.
Where's your oil? Let's try to get more hydration.
I gotta keep an eye on time.
It's a moment of truth.
Hope and pray to the pressure cooker god, you know?
tonight at 9 on WOUB.
You know a soup's going to be good when it starts with browned pancetta.
Get ready as Bridget, Julia, and the rest of the gang explore new recipes and cooking techniques.
And now the crimping begins.
Plus new gadgets, equipment, and ingredients.
Is there anything sadder than a burger on a plain bun?
It's a great new season of America's Test Kitchen.
I'm going through a lot of cake.
On Masterpiece Mystery.
Roses for the kitchen.
I came home and just found her here. She likes to be helpful.
Reverend Cotteram, how are you finding the parish?
Interesting. Multiple stab wounds to the chest. He was blackmailing someone.
Is it just me, or are they
Weirder than the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Daniel, come take a seat.
What are you holding on to?
Grantchester on Masterpiece Mystery.
Sunday at 9 on WOUB.
This is Portofino. It's full of love and beauty, but there's always a scandal.
I want to buy your hotel.
I'd rather burn it to the ground than sell it to you.
What have you got yourself involved in?
Be careful. There'll be no going back.
For God's sake, do it!
What's done is done.
President Biden is not dropping out of the 2024 presidential race despite his poor showing in his debate against former President Donald Trump. The president spent the weekend with his family at Camp David, and according to his advisors, Biden's family encouraged him to stay in the race and privately discussed whether top aides should be fired. The gathering came as the president and his campaign are confronting an avalanche of calls for him to drop out after last Thursday's debate. The family's view, however, could shift in the coming days if the president becomes convinced that exiting the race would avoid dragging down Democrats this fall. The Supreme Court issued its ruling in the blockbuster dispute over whether former President Donald Trump may claim immunity from special counsel Jack Smith's election subversion charges. Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook has more on today's ruling.
The Supreme Court ruled Monday that Donald Trump may claim immunity from criminal prosecution for some of the actions he took in the waning days of his presidency.
They gave the president far more immunity than I think many of us had predicted. And I think what's even more notable here is the number of questions that they left open.
The decision says presidents have immunity for official acts, but not all acts are official. And lower courts must decide which acts qualify for each. This will likely further delay a trial on the federal election subversion charges pending against the former president.
Jack Smith's federal case relating to 2020 election subversion. This now goes back to the district court, which has to hold a factual hearing to decide what was in the scope or out of the scope of the job. That in itself is appealable.
In the majority opinion, Chief Justice John Roberts embraced one of the central themes raised by Trump's team, that allowing prosecutors to look back at actions would potentially hurt a president's ability to do their job. The decision was 6-3 along conservative liberal lines. Justice Sonia Sotomayor did not hold back in her dissent, writing that the ruling could lead to nightmare scenarios. Let the president violate the law. Let him exploit the trappings of his office for personal gain. Let him use his official power for evil ends. Because if he knew that he may one day face liability for breaking the law, he might not be as bold and fearless as we would like him to be. That is the majority's message today. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Donald Trump's former White House strategist Steve Bannon is reporting to a Connecticut prison today. He will begin his 4-month sentence for defying a congressional subpoena. Bannon was convicted for not complying with the House Select Committee that investigated the January 6th Capitol insurrection. On Friday, the Supreme Court denied his long-shot effort to avoid reporting to prison while he appealed the conviction. Well, historic Hurricane Beryl made landfall today, packing 150-mile-per-hour winds. The dangerous Category 4 hurricane first struck Carriacou Island in Grenada. It's the strongest Atlantic hurricane ever this early in the season. There have been multiple reports of downed trees, flooded streets, power outages, and storm surge flooding. The historic storm is already causing damage across the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, and Tobago. It's predicted to sustain these levels of wind until tomorrow night and finish tearing through the Caribbean by the end of the week. So Isabel, what is it that has caused this type of storm this early in the season?
You know, we've seen it here. It's already been a pretty historic, just unpredictable season, and hurricanes aren't the only thing that we've seen this with. We've had those kind of heat rushes. That heat index has been very high here, and that has just translated very well into making some pretty historic hurricanes for this season. You know, it's going to be coming in and having those category 3-4 hurricanes at this time of the year. It's just very it's been just very crazy already having these for this time of year. Athens currently, you know, we're not having these effects from this hurricane in our area, very thankfully. We're having Athens at 80, finally reaching that 80 degrees for the day. We've been very cold, chilly for the rest of the day today, and to finally reach those 80s, very thankful. And then tonight, we're going to be cooling down quite a bit. We're going to have that low of 50. It's going to be a stark drop in our temperatures with those mostly clear skies. So if you're heading out there today, make sure you grab that jacket. For this time tomorrow, we're going to have this high pressure system that has been giving us those cooler airs kind of move out of our way, give us a little warm up for these next couple of days before this system starts affecting us for the rest of the week. Basically, we're going to be having, again this time tomorrow, this stark warm up continuing. Tomorrow, that temperature high of 87, those mostly sunny skies staying in our area. It's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, continuing with a little bit of drier conditions like we've had today, just on that little bit of a warmer side. For 36 hours ahead for our Wednesday, we're going to start to see that high pressure really move out of our area, start to get a little bit more sticky out there, just a few more clouds in our area, and really warming up. That's the next time we're going to be in those 90s is on Wednesday, right before we get hit with this next system. It is going to be really coming in pretty strong for our 4th of July. Very unfortunately, this cold front is making its way in after our 4th of July storms and just really keeping the system on us for these next few days. For our 4th of July, currently, we're looking at Athens in those marginal risk for those severe storms, and then continuing through the week, we're going to have those storms in our way. For these next 7 days, like I said, Wednesday, partly sunny, a little bit stickier out there with that high of 92. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're just going to have a strict run through with these storms, with Friday looking at that 60% chance of thunderstorms. On Saturday, 40% chance of storms, and then Sunday, another chance for some more thunderstorms. So definitely enjoy these next couple of days with those sunny skies. And on Monday, that high of 91. It's going to be a warm one these next by this time next week. So definitely enjoy these next couple of days of those sunny skies and before these systems really come into our area. Let's take it back over to Haley.
Thanks, Isabel. The Justice Department reportedly has worked out a plea agreement with Boeing over the deadly 737 MAX crashes. The company would plead guilty to criminal charges related to the 2 crashes that killed 346 people and would in turn accept a corporate monitor and a fine. A lawyer representing the families of those killed on the 737 jets called the proposal a, quote, sweetheart deal for Boeing. The specifics of the proposal remain unknown. Boeing will have until the end of the week to determine whether to accept the plea deal or go to trial. In a plan to Next, a new merger could create one of the largest theme park chains in America. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
It's our only home.
This was a totally unexpected discovery.
Just growing anticipation and excitement, and then boom.
It's not just about coral reefs, it's about life on this planet.
It's amazing what these divers are doing so that humans can be a part of the solution.
There's so much evidence of life in the ice ages in North America. That is a human footprint.
Wednesday on WOUB.
Adam Posse is one of the funniest comedians working today.
Comedy is kind of the best drug I've ever had, basically.
Adam Posse!
I've met like 3 other Samoan comics. I'm just not seeing us on stage.
What comes up for you knowing that our parents are going to be in the audience?
I might cry.
Be nice to your mom.
There's gonna be a couple white people jokes, Mom. Just a heads up.
You had to go there.
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
Fasten your seatbelts.
This is amazing.
Wow.
Did he vote?
It feels like I have a home.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
This is wild.
Never anticipated this. I am forever changed.
I'm pleased to tell you you're going to be finding your roots.
Are we really this close?
I can't tell you what we found, but what we found was you.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
Well, thousands of homeowners may begin to experience much higher monthly payments. Intercontinental Exchange says about 102,000 homeowners who bought 5-year adjustable rates will face a reset in the next 12 months. More than 329,000 mortgage holders this year have already had their rates adjusted. This comes as would-be home buyers face one of the most unaffordable housing markets in decades. While the rate jumps can sometimes catch people off guard, most ARM loans come with an interest rate cap to prevent costs from spiraling out of control. Well, a merger deal will create one of the largest theme park chains in North America. Regional theme parks giant Six Flags and Cedar Fair are finalizing an agreement today. Together, both companies operate dozens of theme parks, water parks, and resort properties across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The merger is worth an estimated $8 billion. Once combined, the company is expected to operate under the Six Flags brand. As Disney's theme park struggles, they are planning to go to nearly double sizing their cruise ship fleet. Its rivals, including Six Flags, recently saw an average 25% increase in revenue. Meanwhile, Disney's theme park revenue has dipped, and stocks have taken double-digit dives after a post-pandemic boom. The company is hoping to boost its business at sea with 3 new ships to help offset those losses, doubling its cruise revenue. Well, millions of Americans will be traveling this 4th of July holiday. Drivers can expect plenty of traffic on the roads, and passengers should brace for busy airports. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan looks at the best and worst times to travel this week.
It's not just the fireworks lighting up this week. You can expect to see plenty of brake lights on the roads as drivers brace for traffic jams this 4th of July holiday.
It's gonna be busy out there.
AAA says nearly 71 million people will travel 50 miles or more this 4th of July week, with a record 60.6 million people driving to their destination.
Make sure you're prepared for delays no matter where you might be.
The worst times to be on the road are the days before and on July 4th between 2 and 7 p.m. The worst days to travel will be July 3rd and Sunday, July 7th. And with more people having the flexibility to work remotely, it means more people are leaving earlier in the week.
We're seeing a lot of those folks taking quote-unquote workcations where they may be extending it for a few days.
If you're flying, you can expect packed airports.
As an agency nationwide, we are going to be extremely busy for the summer.
Between Friday, June 28th through Monday, July 8th, the TSA expects to screen more than 28 million people. The busiest day for air travel will be Sunday, July 7th.
Get here early. Get here on time.
Weather is already wreaking havoc on travelers' plans, with many flights canceled on Sunday as storms rolled through much of the Northeast. And if you're heading south, Hurricane Beryl could impact your plans. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Well, still ahead, if you still have any packages to be delivered today, be sure to thank your postal worker. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
I hear the echoes all through the meadows. Breathe in and let go. That sweet surrender. I've been running all through the night. can knock me down, but I've got my will to survive. Rise up, rise up, rise up.
Together, we can make real change happen.
On the Texas-Mexico border, Sylvia and Beba make magic of everyday moments. Despite an immigration system that threatens their futures, their friendship offers a life-affirming oasis.
When we look back at the road that took us there, we wonder who were the people who were really ever there for us, and then we turn to each other.
Hummingbirds on POV.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
This November's election will be critical. We will be electing a new president, a new Congress, and scores of state and local leaders. We'll be asked to approve initiatives from abortion to taxes to education. Do you know what's at stake? Will your voice be heard? Many states have made changes on where, when, and how you can vote. To find out what's on your ballot and what you need to know to make sure your vote is counted, go to pbs.org/preservingdemocracy.
Finally tonight, today is National Postal Worker Day. Whether they deliver, sort, or keep things organized, July 1st is their day. These men and women work diligently and consistently through the heat, rain, sleet, and even blizzards. And they do it 6 to 7 days a week. So when you walk out to your mailbox today, help make their day just a little brighter by showing them your appreciation. Man, I'll tell you, postal workers are going through it right now in that heat.
For
oh
sure.
My goodness.
These last few days and even a couple weeks ago, I feel like, ooh, I would hate to be out there that long.
Absolutely. I've seen a great thing on social media people do is they have little tiered carts on their porch where they have some water, snacks. If it's like a holiday, they have little themed treats. I always love seeing that on social media, or they use their ring cam, and it makes the postal workers'
their
day.
day. I feel like they're a little underappreciated. It always is nice to just make sure that they're really taken care of out there.
Absolutely.
Well, currently out there for that weather, hopefully they've been very comfortable with that humidity today. It has been on that lower end, and that currently we're at 80, but today we've had those temperatures all throughout the 70s. It's been a very comfortable one out there. Looking at tonight, we're at that overnight low of 50. We're going to have a stark drop down in those temperatures with that those mostly clear skies. So if you're heading out tonight, definitely put that jacket on and very much have those cool down before we get into tomorrow. Tomorrow, that temperature high of 87. It is going to be a lot warmer than it is today. We're finally at those average temperatures. Today we're at a little bit below, very much below average, with about 10 degrees off of average for your July 1st. But tomorrow, that average high of 87 and that low of 66. Those mostly sunny skies. So definitely enjoy tomorrow before we get into this little bit of craziness we have for the rest of the week. Wednesday, we're going to have those temperatures in those 90s once again with that low of 70. This warm up is coming in from the south, and it is going to be making it very humid, very sticky with those partly sunny skies. So definitely enjoy these next couple of days of a little bit more comfortability. Thursday for our 4th of July, there is that 80% chance of showers. Definitely stick back with us to see just when those are hitting for your 4th of July and into your 4th of July weekend. We're having just as much of those chance of showers. By this time next week, though, we'll be in those sunny skies and feeling a lot more seasonal.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Isco, Allison Patton, and Betique and Comboy Do, I'm Haley Sueno. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. We hope you have a great night.
This is the PBS app, ready for you when you want to watch full episodes